Greetings, everyone. It's finally here again, Friday. In many ways, it seems to take forever to become Friday again. That's better. You can see me now. And in other ways, I sit here usually about 2 or 3 minutes before hitting the go live button, and I'm thinking, gosh, this doesn't seem like 5 minutes since last week. But anyway, here we are all again. It's time for one of these. Cheers, everyone. Happy beer o'clock. And my Fatacasters t-shirt was it was going to be clean for today, and then it got washed and got hung out on the line, and then we forgot to take the washing in overnight, and it got rained on, so it's not dry yet. It is clean, but it's not dry. Anyway, let's have a look, see who's in the chat and who was first in. Let's have a wee look. Scrolling up, I see Amadeus first in this week, and then in the silver medal position we've got Rent to Kill, then Ghost Winters and Terry Day, Dave Fiendish, Johnny Random is in. Oh, excuse me. Who else have we got? We've got Autogeddon1, Boulder 64, Tom Clark, Flask, indeed. Yes, you were obviously watching yesterday's video. Paul Trainer is in, so is Grandpa Joe. What you saying there, Joe? Greetings, John and Fatacasters. Here in the US, we have Memorial Day. Let us honour those from the US, UK and Canada who lost their lives to afford us the freedoms we sit and safety we have. May we not forget, indeed. Lest we forget, Joe. I'll second that emotion. Paul Trainer, you are a gentleman, sir. Thank you so much. Every week, you are a gentleman, sir. I thank you so much. Then there's Cylon Hybrid. Excuse me. Bob Fleming is in the building, ladies and gentlemen. Cylon Hybrid, as I was saying, Malcolm Spillett is in, so is Boulder 64, and Peter Nicholson, Stephen Polk, Vincent Brennan, Peter Collins, Anton is in, who's going to see Cardinal Black for album launch party, so we'll be listening in the car. Well, drive safely, mate, and I hope you have a good time. Then we've got David James, PFY Guitars, Mark Kerno, and who else? We've got Ian Clark, we've got Dr. Gomez 1, Francis Chambers, who's in sunny Burton-on-Trent, but he's in the fridge ready for the live stream. Yeah, it's been sunny here today, but it's been dishonestly sunny. Took the dog out earlier, and as is often the case, Redcar has an unofficial town motto which goes something like, it would be a lovely day if it wasn't for the wind. It wasn't a strong wind, but it had a bit of an edge to it. Then who else? We've got Jimmy James, Cushman NYC, Rudiger Ehrlich, and all the way from Germany. Johnny D is in, so is Doc Alders, and who else have we got? 60s man, Cal B and the Rocco Cat, regular in this parish, he's in as well. And Ian Clark's just eating a box of Jaffa cakes waiting for the stream to start. It takes commitment to become a Fatacaster. Yes, this body is the result of much, much hard work, I can tell you. Yes, the sacrifices I've made to look this good. I'll keep on telling myself that. Mirror, mirror on the wall and all that. Then we've got Gordo Canuck from sunny Calgary, full on spring in the prairies here. Crops are in and sprouting, rivers full of snow melt, ducks and geese back from the winter vacay. You make it sound absolutely idyllic, mate. It really does sound that way. Peter Hall is in, and then we got John Channing. Who else? We got Robin Fawcett, who's getting a new puppy in the morning, and Border Terrier, no less. Yes, or a border terrorist, as they are sometimes known, because they can be a little bit cranky. There was one that we used to meet. Sadly, he's no longer with us. When we used to take Dougal for a walk, called Malky. And Malky was only a very small border terrier, but he thought he was a wolf. He really did. It's like, he was, he didn't take no nothing off nobody. Let's have a look. See what else we got. We got Brad Dowell is in. There's Colin Falcon, local boy, and Austin Barrett is there. So is Pablo Hank, and who else we got? We got William Forrest. Steve Cassidy is in the house, ladies and gentlemen. Don't forget he's got a video going out straight after this live stream. Go and check it out. I forgot what it is now. I watched your live stream on Catch Up, mate. All you talking about frets, the number of frets, the correct number of frets, which everybody knows that's 22 frets. It's not up for debate. But you have got a video going out tonight, so go and check that out. Cal Texper is in. Who else we got? Let's have a look. Nick Shaw is in, so is Greg H. and Bob Smith. What are you saying there, Bob? Not in a supermarket car park this week. Sat in my motorhome in nearly your neck of the woods, Barnard Castle, with my vintage reissue Jazzmaster type offset. Okay, well, if it floats your boat, mate, it floats your boat. Oh, Colin Falcon. That's given us something to watch over the weekend. Clarkson's Farm is back. If you're not seen that, and whatever your opinions are on Jeremy Clarkson, he is a divisive figure. I like him, but I know some people don't. But if you want to see a really funny, interesting, and heartwarming show, watch Clarkson's Farm. I guarantee that you will see the man in a different light, and you will learn a lot of interesting stuff about life on a farm. Anyway, I can highly recommend it. Stephen Hedger is in, suffering big time at the moment with a bad back. Hopefully the beer and banter will help. I feel your pain, mate, as someone who gets regular, I should say, bouts of sciatica. I can really sympathise with you, mate. There's who else have we got? Did I say Searching for Tony's in there? Yes, he is. There he is. How did I miss you, mate? There you are. I've mentioned you now. We've got Mississippi Blues. We've got Stephen Allner. We've got David Cairns. Mr. Chris is among us, ladies and gentlemen, as is session guitar legend Gary Shaw. Peter Nicholson is there. And we've got Triple X Paps. We've got Farjon in. We've got Bill Mumbo, Dan Bernstein. Greetings from Mallorca, you lucky man, catching a bit of that Spanish sunshine. Long time no see, mate. Hope you're having a well-earned rest. Then we've got, let's see, what, Jay Aoyong. Didn't see you sneak in there, mate, but I think that's pretty much everyone. Peter Hall saying no one needs more than 15 frets. Yeah, I do. I like pretending I'm a virtuoso and going up the dusty end, But these big fists of ham tend to struggle to fit in up there. You'll notice whenever I do anything intricate or fiddly, it's seldom up that neck of the woods. By the way, this evening, this has become my regular tipple of choice, the Carlsberg Export, of which I'm just about to take another wee swig. Oh, dear me. Right, anyway, let's tell you what's coming up on the channel this week. Mr. Chris, you are a gentleman, sir. Thank you so much. That is very, very kind of you. Much appreciated, mate. Anyway, I don't know what it is. I've been fine all day, and then as soon as I sit down and start talking to you lot, I get this kind of tickly kind of clackiness, as my granny used to call it. Oh, I've got something stuck in me clack. Yes, I think that's where she meant. Hope so. Anyway, what's coming up on the channel this week? Sunday's video is a pedal review. I don't tend to do these very much, but a mate of mine who's loaned me some stuff over the years, you've seen countless of his guitars on the channel in the past. He got himself a new pedal he was quite over the moon with. And he asked me if I wanted a loan of it. It's the Crazy Tube Circuits Unobtainium pedal. Two kind of pedals in one. A clone, kind of clone overdrive thing, and like a twin channel Dumble style amp in a box kind of pedal. And you'll see me putting that through it, or hear me putting that through its paces on Sunday. Then Monday's video, you know what I do on a Monday at the moment. I'm doing like an alternating thing between melodic rock lead guitar and blues. Well, it's the turn of blues this week, and we're going to be looking at how you can very easily, I want to emphasize that, very, very easily, without too much knowledge of, quantum physics level theory, how you can very easily add some really spicy Robin Ford style blues licks to your 12-bar blues playing. So if you want to add a little bit of exoticness, I think the video title is something like Blues Licks That Turn Heads. So if that sounds like a bit of you, then watch Monday's video. Then on Tuesday, we're all gentlemen of a certain vintage, aren't we? We've all kind of seen the comings and the goings of certain trends. We've seen things come into fashion. We've seen them go out of fashion. We've seen them, in many cases, come back into fashion again in the guitar world. Well, what I'm going to be talking about on Tuesday are 5 guitar trends and fads which everybody and his dog seems to be absolutely banging the table about and saying this is, all the usual terms like game changer, paradigm shift. That's a new one I've noticed coming out a lot of the time, and groundbreaking. All the kind of products and kind of innovations that we saw about 30 years ago, but now they're pretending it's new all over again. All of those kind of things that I'm just saying, nah, not interested. There's 5 of those that I'm listing on Tuesday. Then Wednesday's video is all about, once again, home recording. I've just finished recording just last week or thereabouts, finished doing that series of videos. It's coming to an end. I think this one is, we're past the halfway mark with this one on Wednesday, and we're talking about using amp sims. If that's something that has befuddled you and confused you and thought, well, I'm not quite sure about that. I like hardware rather than software. First of all, I would agree with you, but there are some great tones to be had using amp sims that I'm going to show you. Basically, a newbie level, a kind of novice level way of employing them on Wednesday. I was relatively new to these myself until I think it was only about 5 years ago that I first tried one, and I thought, actually, this is better than I remembered it. Then on Thursday, I've gone wireless again. Yes, indeed. I've got myself a new wireless system. I've had it a while, and I've been using it just to sort of see because I kind of got burned last time. I had a Lakato wireless system, the second one of theirs that I had, and I just finished doing the video saying what a fantastic piece of gear it was, and then about a week later it just went badly wrong and ended up going into landfill basically. So yes, that's I've had a new wireless system for a while, and I'll be telling you what it is and why it's good and all that sort of stuff on Thursday, and that is what's coming up on the channel this week. Balder64 is saying, prediction, it will be snowing very soon in Redcar. I wouldn't rule it out, mate. Calby's saying paradigm when marketers use a thesaurus. Indeed. It's just one of those words that people kind of throw around just to kind of, demonstrate that they're worth their salary, isn't it? Calby's enjoying his PRS with 24 frets. Tell you what I like about 24 fret guitars is it does make it easier to get up to the 22nd fret, which is normally, I very rarely go up to the 24th, but it does make like kind of 20, 21, 22 feel just that little bit more accessible and not quite at the ragged edge of what's possible. Let's have a look. What else have I missed? I think that's pretty much everything caught up. So I'll tell you what, the title of tonight's wee offering is live beer drinking and guitar unboxing. Well, you've seen the beer drinking part. Shall we do the unboxing? I think I think we should. Let me just scooch over here and grab it. This is not a new purchase. This is just on loan from a certain Mr. Balder. And he sent it down to me just to check out. And I think this one, correct me if I'm wrong, mate, but I think you've got this one up for sale. So any offers, get in touch with me and I'll put you in touch with Mr. Balder. Oh, this is genuinely the first time I've seen this as I'm doing this. I did kind of get the polystyrene carton opened yesterday, but I haven't really looked at the guitar, so I'm just freeing it from all the plastic detritus. Yeah, that's kind of stuck under the strings. Excuse me while I just free that. Come out, you bugger. Right, and we can tell it's a bolt on. What else can we tell about it at the moment? Well, it's a 6-a-side headstock with a bolt on neck. Could be something Stratty. Could it be? Well, let's have a look. There we go. Let's get all the polystyrene muck off the back. Yes. Going to be hoovering in here tomorrow. Won't be doing it tonight. Let's get rid of this. What have we got, ladies and gentlemen? We've got a G&L. A G&L Comanche, I believe. And yes, there's a trem arm in there somewhere. And I'll have to dig that out. Covered in this muck now. I mustn't let Dougal in here until all of this is cleaned up, because he will eat this stuff. Yeah, sort of an interesting take on a Stratocaster. I do have all of the details in the email that Mr. Balder sent me, but we've got some interesting controls. I believe there's some clever snazziness going on with the controls. Is one of them a push pull? Oh yeah, we've got a push pull there. That one isn't. And all I can do, oh, that's a nice looking neck, isn't it? Well, that lovely roasted maple neck. I hadn't noticed that. We've got locking tuners. Yes. This is an Indonesian-made G&L Comanche. Indonesian probably means it was made in the Court factory. Oh. Not quite in tune, but not a million miles out. Nicely set up, nice low action. Very, very flat fingerboard. Not sure what the radius is. I'll get my radius gauges on it and figure that out. I won't bore you with that. But there's all kinds of clever switching going on this guitar, where you can kind of do series and parallel with the pickups. And I think these might be those G&L MFD pickups where you can tweak the sound by using an Allen key on the pole pieces. Nice looking, solidly looking built trem there, that's to be said. That's a sort of a well-known G&L feature, that shape of trem. Yeah, it's looking, I mean, it's a Strat. It's a Strat type guitar, I think we all have a certain expectation for the kind of sounds that this guitar is going to produce. And I will be doing a review of this in due course. Unfortunately, or fortunately, whichever way you stack it up, I've got a little bit ahead on my YouTube output. Everything now. Let me just go and have a look at my little list that I've got, which is in a folder over here somewhere. There we go. Yeah, all of my videos are done, dusted, in the can, and uploaded and scheduled to go out right up until the 29th of June, Okay, so the 29th of next month, that's like, I could go on holiday till then and you wouldn't notice because I'd still be on YouTube. I'm not going to, I can't afford to. Well, yeah, anyway. But so the review, full review for that guitar is going to be sometime in early July. So put that one down in your diary. Yeah, lovely looking guitar. Let's have another look at it. Here it is. G&L Comanche. I do like the colour. I like this, what is this, kind of like some sort of ash or spalted maple or something. I'm useless on identifying timbers. Somebody more qualified than that can tell me, but I'll have a look up on the specs as well. But yeah, really, really nice looking thing, that has to be said. Looking forward to trying this one out. It's got a really properly comfortable neck. When you pick up some guitars and the neck just feels like jet guitars, where the neck just feels like it's come out of some exotic boutique custom shop. Burl, says J. Ao Young. Thank you, mate. Burl Burst, says Boulder 64. Yes. I knew it wasn't spalted, but I couldn't think of the right word. But burl, that's it. The age is a cruel mistress. Yeah. So where was I? I've lost my train of thought. Apologies for that. I wonder what we can blame that on. Right, let's have a look in the chat. Let's have a look. Steve Cassidy saying, I wonder how painful it was for Leo to have to come up with a new headstock design that wouldn't infringe on his previous one. Indeed. Yes, but there is a rumour that when he was working at G&L, one evening he just got really nostalgic and he was alone in the workshop and just built like from parts like some old Strats and Telecasters from bits that were lying around in the factory, and he built them the way he would have done in the olden days and put his Fender name on them and took them around local dealerships, and then fessed up to what he'd done the next day. And teams of G&L employees frantically were scouring these dealerships to take these guitars back because, legal reasons. I don't know if that's an apocryphal story or not. That's a big word for Friday, isn't it? But I would like to think it's the sort of thing that Leo would have done. Those pickups look like a sack race, says Cal B. Well, it is what it is, isn't it? I'm interested in how they sound, actually. It's no secret that I'm a little bit sort of lukewarm on Strat sounds. It's don't dislike the sound of a Strat, but I don't. It's not the sound of a guitar that I hear in my head when I think of myself playing. I'll use one for particular tasks when it's needed, but it's not my default go-to sound. Just curious about how those sound. We know it's going to sound like a Stratocaster, but I'm just wondering what sort of, is it going to be fatter sounding? Is it going to be kind of like, I don't know, beefier? I don't know, but I'm interested to find out. So Cal B is saying, didn't he take that headstock from Bigsby? He did. If you look at the Merle Travis guitar made by Paul Bigsby, you'll see it's basically a Les Paul style body shape with a very, very Strat-like looking headstock, and I think that guitar dates from the mid-40s, doesn't it? There's pictures of it in any guitar reference book that you care to look at. But I think the fact that we call it the Strat headstock shape now means that I think it's custom and tradition has established itself that is the Fender headstock shape. Anyway, chaps, I'm just going to pour myself some more lubrication and brush all this bloody polystyrene off me. Yes, we'll get the vacuum in here tomorrow. That's I start teaching at 10 o'clock in the morning, so I'll have to be vacuuming about 9 a.m. on a Saturday morning after a Friday night on the beer. That's going to be fun. But you know what? It's better than working for a living. Boulder64 saying, I've had loads of Fenders, Sires, Squires, and the G&L sounds best of all. I'd possibly say the S500 variant sounds better than the Comanche. Well, interesting to know. Mate. Jay Aoyong saying, wasn't Comanche a Shadows song? No, that was Apache, mate. I'm not sure if you're being facetious there, but, you know, there you go. Mark Gowans, what you're saying, that push-pull tone control gives you bridge and neck together when in the bridge position. Go one up and you'll get all three pickups together. Yes, Boulder did say something along those lines in the email now I think about it. Michael Purcell is saying, how often do you take dust off guitars? I do mine 2 or 3 times a week. That's the best thing you can get for getting into all of the crevices on a guitar. You know, I often just spray it with a little bit of water will do. Not so that it's dripping wet, but just to get it damp, and it kind of gets the dust off Pledge or Mr. Sheen or any of those proprietary brands. But just one of the little spray bottles of water will work, and it gets, you know, the dust from in between the bridge and the bridge pickup and places like that that you can't normally get to with a cloth until you take the strings off. No, Balder, I'm not going to do that, mate. Yes. Right. What else have I missed? Because I've been blethering quite a bit. Graham Campbell, the 2-tone controls, the treble cut and bass cut respectively. I have the G&L Legacy, which has more traditional Strat pickups. Yep. That's another thing that's, that it's not just like regular kind of tone controls. I'd read that somewhere. I think it was in one of Balder's emails. Gary Shaw saying, so Gibson by Randall Smith's lifelong endeavour and fire his ass. Oh, yeah. That's Randall Smith, that's Mesa Boogie, isn't it? Yes, I'd heard that. And I've also heard that Toman had bought Hughes and Kettner. I used to have a Hughes and Kettner amp back in the early 90s. It wasn't one of their expensive valve or tube ones. It was if anyone remembers, no one else remembers this model of Hughes and Kettner amp. It was a twin channel solid state 50 watt amp called the Hughes and Kettner PCS 50, and it was an okay amp. Just a typical sort of solid state clean sound, very, very kind of punchy and direct with none of that sort of valvey kind of sag. It was a great amp for putting like chorus and delays and reverbs and that sort of through for a very 80s sound. And the overdrive channel was just insane, just ridiculous levels of very, very musical gain. Then I sold it and got a Marshall, and then there began my lifelong addiction to the unreliable world of Marshall sounds. Mike is saying that Thomas Blue did a video about it. I haven't seen that, mate. You lads probably watch a damn sight more guitar YouTube than I do, because I just don't get a chance to do it. You know, I'll often be, you know, if I'm not kind of blethering away into a webcam, either doing pieces to camera for videos or doing Zoom lessons, I'm on that machine over there and I'm kind of deep in the weeds, either doing something in Reaper or doing something in VideoPad, editing a video. And I'll often have, you know, stuff on this machine here, but it's just sort of in the background because I'm concentrating on what I'm doing. Guitar Man is saying, are you going to be doing an unboxing today? You missed it, mate. I've just done it. There's the lid of the box, and there's the guitar that came out of the box. there it is. And yes, so you're late, mate. You missed the unboxing. Uh, Jay Aoyong is saying, yeah, it was interesting to learn from Henning Pauly, I presume that is, that there was neither a Hughes nor a Kettner. Yes, indeed. It's like, Haagen-Dazs ice cream is just a made-up name. I was a little bit disappointed when I found that out. Gary Shaw's saying, a mate had an Engel combo 1985-ish. I borrowed it and used it on a recording. Blimey, if you see one, grab it. Nice to know, mate. To be honest with you, I'm perfectly happy with with that blue guitar amp one. It is the best guitar tone I've ever had. I've had a few people saying that they don't like my tone. Well, that's fair enough. But to be honest, I don't think that's a particularly nice thing to say. It doesn't hurt my feelings, but it's a bit like sort of saying, see your wife, God, she's ugly, isn't she? It's just not the gentlemanly thing to do, but I like the tone I get from it. And, and I'm just not in a hurry or have any sort of desire to change it, It's like, I think it's partly to do with being middle-aged. You get to a point where you think, yeah, this is me. This is what I am. This is what I've got. It's like I don't even like getting a new phone. I got my network provider mithering the hell out of me at the moment. Oh, you're due an upgrade. Yeah, but then I'd have to set up a new phone. I'd have to get used to it. I'd have to set the ringtone. I'd have to set the wallpaper. I'd have to kind of remember all my passwords and sign into all my apps. And I just, and this one works. Can we, can we just kind of let sleeping dogs lie? Anyway, chaps, I think it's about time we took a look at some of the guitars that you've sent me pictures of in the viewers' guitars section, not to be confused with anything that might be referred to as readers' wives. I'm still getting the odd email with that in the subject line. Thank you so much, everyone. But anyway, I've just got too many windows open here. I'm just going to close a few of these down so I don't get more easily confuddled than I already do. Right, anyway, so we've got that up there. Let's, where is it? There it is. Let's have a look and see what pictures have made it to the top of the pile this week. So we'll go share screen and then we'll hit that one and we'll take a look at these. These are some of Chris Plumridge's guitars. And what have we got here? We've got this dinky little Strat copy here. What's that? That's a Tanglewood. Is that a child's guitar or is it some sort of mandolin, kind of treble guitar or soprano guitar or something? Who knows? But I do remember that Chris told me that this is a little bit of a nod to David Gilmour parts caster there, even down to the shortened tremolo arm. That's some attention to detail there. Looks the part, like, doesn't it? And then we've got another kind of dinky guitar here, another little a guitar for the borrowers. A nice little Tanglewood Les Paul style copy there. Almost Jared James Nichols, isn't it, with a single pickup? Anyway, what's next? We've got this one from Dave Stevens. Harley Benton, bought in a whim to see what all the fuss is about. Never goes far out of tune. Don't know what people moan about. Indeed, mate. It's 12-string as well. Nice one. It's the only Harley Benton 12-string I've ever had was like a Rickenbacker electric copy, and there was, I'm not sure if this is just systemic with those guitars or whether it was just a bad one, but the truss rod was absolutely goosed on it and didn't work at all. So unfortunately that was that. Then we've got a gold top artist guitar owned by David Thompson. The thing about artist guitars is, have you noticed how many Les Paul copies, they always do that thing with the cutaway there. Vintage do it, Harley Benton do it, where they make that come down to more of a point. And I've always assumed that's to do with, copyright reasons and not getting on the wrong side of Gibson's legal department. But artists seem to be getting away with doing, There's a helicopter going overhead. Artists seem to be able to be getting away with doing like the Gibson cutaway shape there, and that looks really properly nice. It has to be said. A gold top with P90s, just something about that, isn't it? That looks special. Then this is another one from Dave Thompson. This is his eArt E35. I didn't know they made a 335 copy, but it doesn't surprise me. If you haven't tried an eArt guitar, then I urge you go and try one. I've had, I think, 3 in here, and the necks on them are just, was what I was saying earlier. You pick up some reasonably priced guitar, and the neck feels absolutely stunning on it. Well, eArt guitars are very much like that. That's kind of just in that sort of subdued brown colour. That's just got something about it, I think. Nice looking guitar. And another David Thompson one. This is his Epiphone Crestwood custom reissue. This is one of those guitars, the Epiphone Crestwood, that it's like, when you see a pug dog, or one of those dogs that's got a face that looks like it's been chasing parked cars, and it should be ugly, but it just comes off as cute. I don't mean any disrespect, David. I'm saying that is a cute looking guitar, despite the fact that it's got that sort of lopsidedness to it a little bit. It's got a wonderful retro vibe to it. I especially like this unnecessarily big headstock badge up top. It's just got something endearing about it. It screams kind of 1960s, doesn't it? Anyway, let's move on. Some more basses from the bass hoarder. I'm not even going to say collector. There's a very fine line between hoarding and collecting, isn't it? Or collecting and hoarding. And I'm going to say Jim Howard is probably more on the borderline hoarding sort of stage. He sent me loads of pictures of his basses, and here are another 3. What have we got? We've got that looks like an SX. Can't make out that logo there. And not sure. That looks like a Sire headstock shape, doesn't it? Not sure if it is, but it does have that kind of Sire-y look about it, doesn't it? But anyway, Jim, we'll be seeing more of his basses in the coming weeks. Thanks for sending them in, Jim. I'll get through them all eventually. Then you've seen this one before, but Len McIver, there, he decided to send me another picture of it because he just said, yeah, it's too pretty not to look at more than once. And I kind of agree with him. A lovely big old Gretsch. Is that a White Falcon? I think it is. Beautiful looking guitar. Not the most practical thing to play, but who cares? It looks cool, doesn't it? Whether you're going for that sort of retro Brian Setzery kind of vibe, or whether you're kind of a little bit more Billy Duffy and the Cult, that is a guitar to admire, it has to be said. And then Steve Linden, this is his, is it T-Score? That's how I'm going to pronounce it, Top 20 bass. Imagine a guitar, a 6-string version of that, and you've got something which is very, very close looking to my very first electric guitar. The pickup was basically that shape, that same sort of surround, and the pole pieces on mine. And yes, it even had a truss rod, a spoke wheel truss rod back in 1979 or whenever. I didn't think they existed back then, but mine wasn't a T-Score. Mine was a Woolworths Top 20. But there you go. Same guitar, different brand. And Tom Clark has sent us this guitar here. This is his most recent incarnation of the Fretlight guitar. You'll notice the LEDs based in kind of set into the neck, very much like the Fret Zealot system that you can get a discount on if you follow the link in my in the description on all my videos. this is basically has the LEDs actually mounted into the neck, and you just kind of dial in what scale or what chord or what arpeggio or whatever you want, and they will light up on the fretboard. And I remember these coming out in the 1990s, and Tom has some examples from the 90s, which I'm going to be which he shared photos with. He owns quite a few of these, and I'm going to be putting the pictures up in subsequent weeks in this slot on the live stream. So there you go, chaps. That is this week's selection of pictures of guitars. I almost said readers' wives, and it's kind of rubbing off on me. Anyway, I'm going to have a wee lubricant. We'll just get caught up in the chat a little bit, and then I'm going to head off over to have a little bit of a look at this week's viewers' tales. Yes, we've got that one there, so I'll line that one up for later. Anyway, let's see what you've been gossiping about. Jay Aoyong is saying, a mate of mine was asked what's the best guitar for funk. He said bass guitar. Well, sort of, I suppose. Triple X Paps, Tesco. So it's the same as the supermarket then. Jimmy James is saying there's a 4 pickup Tesco, as we're supposed to call it, I suppose. For sale near me. Well, it's not hoarding if it's guitars, says MW Cardi. Yeah, I was speaking to a mate of mine this week, and he's loaned me a couple of guitars, and you're going to be seeing them on the channel. And because he's got a bit of a guitar collection, and in return, I loaned him my Jet, the JT 350, and because he'd heard a lot about Jet guitars, but he'd never played one. I said, just try that, see what you think of that, and he was absolutely gushing about it. So he was on about getting one for himself, and he says, "Yeah, I'm going to have to get it sent to me mother's." And then he'll go and visit his dear old mum at some point and come back with it, and and say to the missus, "Oh yeah, that's been around there for ages. Yeah, that's one I've had for years. It's never made it back home yet." That's so. David, sorry if I've just blown your cover there, mate. But yes, I don't think she'll be watching. I don't think David's missus will be watching. But where was I going with this? Yes, he's got a serious guitar collection problem. It's and even he described it as borderline hoarding. Bill Mumbo is saying my Shaftesbury thin-line telly from 73 has a wheel truss rod adjuster, works just great. That's what I was talking about. Earlier, you see, once you've been around long enough, you tend to see these kind of things which are, touted as innovations and brand new, and isn't this, a game changer, a new paradigm, groundbreaking, etc., etc. And you think, well, yeah, but I remember that from the late 70s, and everybody else just forgot. Let's have a look. A bit of a collection. How many constitute as a bit? Well, he's got more than me, mate, and I do it full of. How many guitars have I got in here at the moment? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, including that G&L, which isn't going to be hanging around long, but he's got considerably, probably about 3 times that number. And many of his are not, vintage or Jet or Harley Benton or Squire. Many of his are like, Fender, Gibson Custom Shop, PRS Core. He's that level of hoarder / collector. Let's have a look. Amadeus has 80 plus 80 guitars. Oh, is that how many constitutes a collection, or is that how many you've got, mate? Let's have a wee look. Jay Aoyong saying, do check the super chat on the thermos. Was a very insightful video. Oh, thank you, mate. There we go. Thank you, mate. Bought a thermos on my way to a 1958-60 Gibson Les Paul Standard. You can't go far wrong, mate. Just buy a thermos. And thank you for the super chat. Much appreciated. Sorry I missed that. That was, I don't know. I thought that was an interesting kind of tongue-in-cheek idea for a video. Want a high-end guitar, buy a thermos flask. It was just, I'd heard so many that week when I made that video, adverts talking about, some new VPN that you can sign up to, or this service that you can get, or that service that you can sign up for. And it's always quoted as in, and that's less than the price of less than the cost of a daily cup of coffee. And I just thought, yeah, this is becoming quite a thing, isn't it now, to quote things in how much it costs for a cup of coffee. And I just thought, I wonder what kind of guitars you could get for the price of a cup of coffee every day. And that was the video. And it's probably my best performing video in months. It really has. Some videos that I do, they will, I know, for instance, that generally speaking, if I'm doing a video where I'm taking a guitar out of a box, it will do massively better than a video where I'm doing some lesson content on that same guitar. But that's just the way the cookie crumbles, and it's just the way it is. I tend to use the tuition videos as more of a calling card to get people emailing me for lessons. So although those videos don't perform that well on YouTube, they do kind of bring in benefits in other ways. They generate business for, like, my bread and butter, which is guitar lessons. It's so some videos do better than others, but that thermos flask video just did much better than I ever anticipated. Anyway, and blethering, let's go and have a look at this week's viewer's tale. This one comes from Paul Coleman, and he says, "Hi John, I don't know if this is the place to send a story about meeting a rock star, because I think you sent it through my website, didn't you? I'll just point out, if you have any pictures of guitars that you want to send, or any kind of anecdotes or tales about your brush with the great and the good, the famous, then just send them over to me. jrguitartuition@gmail.com. jrguitartuition, John Robson, jr guitar tuition, that's my job, at gmail.com. Anyway, let's get into the tale. I'm not a fan. Here he goes anyway. He says, I had a rather embarrassing instrument in the Arts Centre Cafe along Walcott Street in Bath in the early 80s. It was part of the alternative shopping area. Records, books, hippie and goth clothes, you get the idea. And one rainy day, I went for a drink there with my mate. I was going through my own goth phase, so I looked like a refugee from the Jesus and Mary chain, and I was rakishly carrying my brolly folded up. The place was full of older, cooler alternative types, and when I got to the top of the steps where the cafe was, I masterfully propped my umbrella against the counter and made my order. Then the umbrella toppled sideways, and before I could stop it, slid down the stairs. I just walked up. It slid down them noisily, one at a time. Then the bloody thing went round the corner and rattled down the second flight. Everybody watched it. Then a cheery voice, echoing a current safety advert starring Petunia. Do we remember those public safety adverts with Petunia? Yes. Loudly uttered, "Wish I'd brought me brolly." The laughter was unconfined. When I looked up from my hair-sprayed fringe, my face red with embarrassment and futile indignance, one of the people laughing loudest was Hugh Cornwell from the Stranglers, who was sitting on his own at a nearby table. I never went in there again. Yes. Oh, it's one of those times when you want the ground to swallow you up, isn't it, mate? Yes, Petunia. What's that about then for our international brethren? It was public service announcements, public safety adverts that were on in the 1970s that featured, they were all animated, like sort of, badly drawn cartoons. And they all featured a couple, a henpecked husband and his wife, Petunia. And yes, I remember them well. Yes, I'll see your Petunia ad and raise you. Charlie says, there's one. There's a talking point for gentlemen from or people from the UK of a certain vintage. Let's have a look. Tom Clark saying, Ernie Ball's sunburst. I have a photo of me and Albert Lee holding it. I've had a beer with Albert Lee, top bloke. Epic Swedish Fika saying, if you get some boxes from the local guitar shop, you can start all videos with an unboxing. Yes, I've got a shed full of guitar boxes actually, because I know they always come in handy. So many times I've sold a guitar and I think, right, I've got to get this boxed up now, and and then have to. On one occasion, I did actually buy a cheap guitar just to get the box that it came in. So I had a box to box up the guitar that I'd sold, and I kept the cheap guitar just as a guitar to do kind of experiments on, like learning how to kind of level and crown frets and stuff like that. So yes, I've got a shed full of guitar boxes. I've learned the hard way never to throw them away. Michael Purcell is saying, would anyone put away their coffee money for guitar or just spend the money elsewhere, somewhere else anyway? Well, that's all about discipline, isn't it, mate? I've done that in the past. When I've wanted to save up for something, I've actually in the past, believe this or not, you probably won't, but it's true, I've given up beer in the past to finance the purchase of a guitar. And given that I just buy my beer at the local supermarket, I know roughly how much it costs on a weekly basis. I just put that money in the in the piggy bank or the savings tin or whatever until it's reached the desired amount. So it can be done. It can be done. Talking about guitar collections here, Johnny D saying a modest 5 for me. My son has 2, so we're a 7 guitar establishment here. Oh, and my old Crafter acoustic too. Yes, well, you got to count that one, mate. I counted the bass in my calculations. What's that going on? Excuse me, the chat has just jumped again. Kevin Kraft, let's put you up on screen, mate. I played a star guitar as played by Jerry Shepherd from the original Glitter Band, and it's a bag of shit. Terrible action. It's basically a prop. Yes, well, I think the least said about anyone associated with a certain Mr. Paul Francis Gadd, a.k.a. Gary Glitter, the least said about him, the better. Indeed. Anyway, moving on. Bill Mumbo, what you saying there, mate? Albert Lee's next door neighbour's son used to be in my band in the 80s. Nice blokes both. Well, that's nice to know, mate. That's nice. Anyway, we've got new comments. Let's scroll down. I'm not creative says, I don't go out for coffee. I make my cup at home, so the money has no necessary purpose. It can go to a guitar. I must admit, I will not buy, even if they were giving them away, I will not buy one of these kind of takeaway coffees because they always taste absolutely gopping. They're absolutely foul. Starbucks, Costa, all of them. Cafe Nero, that's another one. It always just tastes burned somehow. The coffee always tastes burned. I like strong coffee, but I don't like the burnt taste, the really dark roast that you get in these coffees. It's very unpalatable to me. So we have a filter coffee maker with a timer on it, and the smell of freshly brewed coffee percolates through the house when the alarm goes off on a morning, and that is the thing that more than anything else gets me downstairs and gets me motivated, because the house smelling of freshly brewed hot black coffee is just enough to raise the dead, as far as I'm concerned. So there you know what I say in all the videos about, like, and we talk about music and guitars and anything else that comes up. Well, I think we're in the dying moments of the stream. We're into that territory, aren't we? Let's just have a quick look through the chat and see if there's anything else I've missed that warrants a mention. J. Aoyong saying, got myself a barista set up to avoid the exorbitant amounts cafes charge, but coffee beans are becoming exorbitant in themselves. Yeah, I noticed that the price of a pack of ground coffee, we don't grind our own beans, but the price of a pack of ground coffee has gone up more than what did they say inflation is at the moment in this country, 3.5%. Yeah, my backside. I used to be able to buy a pack of decent quality ground coffee for under £2. Now it's £3 something a pack. So, it is what it is, but I can't live without freshly brewed coffee on a weekend, on a morning rather. Grandpa Joe, my marketing manager, is getting one in before we wrap up. Fattercasters, consider joining John's Patreon. The 2-tier gives you twice a month Zoom chat with John and fellow Fattercasters. And I'll tell you what, Joe, I really look forward to that. I look forward to that Tuesday night kind of chin wag, as we call it, on Zoom. It's a little bit like this, but we don't have to be quite so guarded in our opinions. Let's just leave it at that. We can, because it's not for public consumption. What happens on the Zoom chat stays on the Zoom chat is the circle of trust, we call it. And on that note, chaps, I'm going to wrap things up there for this evening. Thank you once again, each and every one of you, for turning up and watching a fat, bald northern lad talk absolute cobblers for an hour. It's been a blast, and I'll keep on doing it till you're sick of me. Don't forget to go and check out Steve Cassidy's videos straight after this live stream. You've got time to go and insult the porcelain, recharge your glass, and settle down for a bit of Mr. Cassidy. That's precisely what I'm going to do. And I'll love you and leave you. I'll see you on the next one. For now, time, gentlemen, please.